Hello, Troy A. Shadowwingtronics, back with you once again for the Art Soundoff challenge. Um, I only do it on the weekdays due to the posting schedule at bwspotlight.com, my website. Now, I don't technically follow the prompts. I try to come up with my own different ideas, but sometimes I will take a prompt if I can't think of anything to discuss in that particular installment. This time though, I saw one of the prompts on there that just kind of was interesting to me, and the topic is notebooks. Because this year, like I said, they followed the what do you call it, the Inktober idea of just having one or two word prompts and then letting you go crazy with it, and that's kind of what they did this year for Art Soundoff. And the only thing they had was notebooks. Now, I have done a few different things with notebooks in the time. A lot of times I use it to just keep ideas. Like here's a notebook with different comic ideas that I've had through the years since I was in well, some of these ideas go all the way back to middle school. I think I made this sometime after high school. And I also didn't even know I did this. I actually did the layouts for the Jake and Leon Christmas special in here, and I'll come back to that in a moment. As comic ideas, here's a section of character profiles that I came up with. There's a third section in here of the various superhero teams. In my head, I kind of had my own BW superhero universe kind of thing. Now it's kind of evolved into a multiverse, and this is how I got them in. And then for some reason, I have this, which is also a series of comic ideas. I don't know why I have two separate notebooks with comic ideas. I didn't fill up the first one, but this one is just pure comic ideas, and they're in ink. So this is kind of useless to me. I think I need to somehow combine all the things, because look, I did it again with some of the same ideas. Only this one's a bit different because these are actually story ideas, not just plot ideas. So this is, I don't even know I came up with one for this one. I'll have to look through this, and this may actually be some interesting stuff here. Here's Starfires. That's the thing that I never finished doing in TDA's Galactic Adventures. Wow, I actually came up with some good. I actually came up with a whole bunch of plot. There's one here too. Paper just fell out. I came up with some ideas here, so that's a bit different. So that's different, at least. But these two are basically the same. Basically the same book. I just put the stuff that should be in here should probably go in here. These at least were plot ideas. I don't want to call it comic production ideas. They're plot ideas. I don't know. Haven't worked with those in years. But another thing that I've done with notebooks is that I turned it into. Some of you may remember this from previous Art Soundoff. I made my own omnibus. So I actually made a comic right here in this book. Let's see. So this is a 5-subject notebook, and using the, if I want here, no, just past one. And even if I using the well, I think it's like 4 or 5, or however it was, using these pages as well, and I can fit them pretty easy just in here. is within this, just the regular writing space here on the, get the margin here, then you got this. And this is about the size of an average comic book. And I fit 17 issues in here. And that's another way that I use a notebook. And taking this into idea, and like I said, you just saw that. Sorry. You just kind of saw the idea. And there, in the other book, because I didn't realize I scripted the Jake and Leon Christmas in there. Starting last year, I actually put the books in here, the story in here. I actually made my layouts, because I don't write a script per se. I've tried before, but I kind of like the story goes through my head, and when it finally everything kind of clicks all together, I then just sketch it out into here, kind of deciding how I want to do the pages. And sometimes I will alter the panel locations and everything during the story when I when I did it on the computer. I did that actually with one of the pages in the Captain Yuletide story, the sketch here. This was last year's Captain Yuletide story. And I started working on this year's Captain Yuletide story, which I can't show you because, well, I'll show you this part. See? And again, just here, I can just scan this into the computer. I actually tested this with a Captain PSA strip. That's an idea that I don't have very often. Basically, Captain PSA is kind of this parody of PSA strips. In this case of what would have happened if this was made in a superhero universe. So it's a PSA comic in a superhero universe. Like if you lived in a superhero universe, these would be the PSA comics that you would get. And so I wrote down on a piece of paper, scan it into the computer, and use that as my roughs. So this is actually going to be my roughs for this year's comic. And then I can just map it out as is. I need to, I'm, how far into this am I? On page 5 right now, and it gets the panel layout for 6. I just got to put pictures in here. And an average comic is 22 pages. So you can get a 22-page comic, 17 pages worth of 22 comics, and you get an idea of what the size will be. And then you can scan it in the computer and then make it whatever size you want and do all the details and everything else. So it's kind of an idea that I think is going to work well for me. Now, as far as otherwise keeping notes, where did I put it? Should have brought it over. There we go. I showed you this last year. I still have not finished this. Showed you this last year, and I still haven't finished this. This is the production book for Captain Yuletide. It's got character profiles, and I need to redraw Bryce and Belle because the legs are supposed to be on a deer should go this way. The front leg should be like that instead of like this. So I goofed and I redo those. And then I have various Captain Yuletides in their outfits and then just themselves. This year's story is going to see the return of Mitch. It was actually from issue number 1, although canonically issue number 3 is the tale of the first ever Captain Yuletide, so it's a little weird how that worked out. And so you different character profiles in here, and I got a section for the lore, I got a section for various fictional places within the Captain Yuletide universe. Here's a shot of Bryce and Belle's cave, and it's mostly just so I can set up the establishing shots. So this is basically my guide, and I draw based on this guide, so I know what everything's supposed to look like. I could technically also scan it in and just use it like a, if I'm in a hurry, use it as like a backdrop or something. As my background. Artifacts haven't done anything. Oh, yes, I did. I discussed the ornament of power that turns the chosen elf for that situation into Captain Yuletide. So these are different ways that I've kept notes. Some of them make sense, some of them don't. And a different way that I've used the notebook. And I need to put this all together. This is a bit of a mess. But, yeah, so that's the subject of notebooks with me is keeping. I also have a notebook by my bed, so if I come up with a Captain Yuletide idea, and I've got like 3 of them, and it's an annual comic, so I get the next 3 years covered. And I know the basic idea of what I want to do at some point, team up story of all the villains up to that point, but I need to come up with something good in that regard. But first, let me do all these other stories that I got going. But also, if I come up with a Jake and Leon idea, and I should have brought this over too. Here, make sure you can hear me. There's your notebook where I did a quick sketch for Jake and Leon. In this case, I did not scan this into the computer. I just wrote it down so I would know where the characters are positioned. Because it's basically a talking heads comic, but the characters do have bodies and will take on different poses and stuff. This is just basically who's where on the panel and what are they saying. And then when I go to make the actual comic, I'll take that and I'll work with it, and from there I'll come up with the ideas that I got for the story. So I use notebooks in very different ways to organize stuff, to keep track of story ideas, character ideas, plot ideas, or sometimes I'll make the actual notebook into a comic. So there's all different ways to notebook. I like having options. I like to keep track of this stuff because I've forgotten so many different story ideas and gags and everything else over the years. Notebooks are your friend when you remember to use them. That's all I got to say about that. If you do want to hear more of the stuff that I think about when it comes to storytelling, I come at it from very different angles through articles, comics, and videos at BW Media Spotlight, at bwspotlight.com. And if you want to check out more people taking part in the Art Soundoff Challenge, go to Twitter, put in the hashtag Art Soundoff, or go to the Art Soundoff Twitter page, and they usually repost everybody who's taking part. And if you want to take part yourself, go to artsoundoff.com, check out the prompts and different ways that you can post. You don't even have to share them, although it would be nice if you did. We've got a few new participants this year, which is cool, and we got a couple of returning participants. And it's nice to see Art Soundoff being more than just 3 of us like it was last year. So hopefully more people can join in. You can even just do it once. You can do it 5 days like I do. You can do it once a week. You can do it every day. You can, however you want to do it. Hope you join in. And until then, till tomorrow, because tomorrow is Tuesday and that means there's more stuff coming, I wish you happy creating.